Have you ever visited Japan or seen a Japanese movie or drama and noticed that older people seldom use walkers? The elderly in Japan seem to walk just fine without any assistance. Now, before I share with you the real reason for this phenomenon, I want to clarify 2 points. One is that Japanese people engage in regular physical activity even after retirement. Japanese cuisine is known for being low in saturated fat and cholesterol and high in fresh fruits, vegetables and fish. This is probably why Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world, both for men and women. Men can expect to live to 81 years old, while women can expect to live to 87. These healthy diets also contribute to the longevity of Japanese elders, meaning that they tend to live longer than people in other countries. Even after retirement, Japanese people are encouraged to continue learning new things and expanding their knowledge. This can be done through a variety of means, such as taking classes at a local community center, joining a book club, or simply engaging in intellectually stimulating conversations with friends and family. The benefits of lifelong learning are numerous. It helps to keep the mind sharp, reduces the risk of cognitive decline, and provides a sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. If you're not yet a grandparent, you can still make a difference by sharing this message with other caregivers and educators. By working together, we can ensure that the next generation is prepared for the challenges of aging. Eating a balanced diet, getting regular exercise, and getting enough sleep can all help to improve cognitive function. Their culture and practices that prioritize mental health and engagement, allowing them to age gracefully and maintain their independence for years to come. Remember, it's never too early or too late to start taking care of your mental health. So if you want to live a long and healthy life, follow the lead of the Japanese elders. Embrace lifelong learning, stay socially connected, and keep your mind active. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay healthy and happy. It's also important to manage stress effectively, as chronic stress can have a negative impact on cognitive function. By following these tips, you can help to keep your mind sharp and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. For example, many of them take long walks every day, sometimes several hours. One way to do this is to play brain games with your loved ones. Brain games are a fun and effective way to stimulate the mind and keep it sharp. There are many different types of brain games available, such as memory games, logic puzzles, and word games. Playing these games regularly can help to improve cognitive function and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Reading is another great way to stimulate the mind. Reading regularly can help to improve vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension skills. It can also help to increase knowledge and understanding of the world around us. Engaging in intellectually stimulating conversations is another important way to keep the mind active. Talking about current events, philosophical topics, or other intellectually stimulating subjects can help to keep the mind sharp and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Learning new things is also an important part of keeping the mind active. This can be done through a variety of means, such as taking classes, attending lectures, or simply watching educational videos online. Learning new things can help to improve cognitive function and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. When I was a young doctor working in a hospital in Japan, I had the opportunity to interact with many elderly patients. One patient in particular stood out. He was a retired professor who was admitted to the hospital for a minor illness. Despite being in his late 80s, he was sharp as a tack and could remember every detail of his illness and treatment plan. What's more, he was full of energy and enthusiasm for life. It was clear that he was a man who had lived a rich, and fulfilling life, and that had helped him to maintain his cognitive function. On the other hand, I also encountered many elderly patients who were suffering from dementia. And in most cases, it was clear that these patients had not engaged in regular mental stimulation before their illness. They had simply allowed their minds to become idle, which had led to their cognitive decline. This experience taught me the importance of mental stimulation in maintaining cognitive function, and I've been sharing this message ever since. You see, when it comes to aging, our minds are just as important as our bodies. It helps to keep the mind sharp, reduces the risk of cognitive decline, and provides a sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. By incorporating mental stimulation into our daily lives, we can reduce our risk of dementia and lead happier, more fulfilling lives. In fact, our mental health has a profound impact on our overall well-being. And this is something that Japanese culture has long understood. That's why elders in Japan are less likely to suffer from age-related cognitive decline, such as dementia. And that's because dementia is not just a disease of the brain, it's also a disease of the mind. In fact, you will often see groups of senior citizens wearing colourful walking attire taking over the streets, especially during the weekends and holidays. Well, the answer lies in the practices that have been ingrained in Japanese culture for centuries. One of the most important things to understand about Japanese culture is that it places a strong emphasis on mental stimulation and engagement. From a young age, Japanese people are encouraged to challenge themselves intellectually, whether it's through academics, the arts, or other pursuits. This helps to keep their minds sharp and reduces the risk of cognitive decline later in life. Also, many Japanese people continue working part-time jobs well into their 60s and even 70s. In Japan, it's common for people to stay connected with their friends and colleagues from school and work, even after decades. These social connections provide not only emotional support, but also intellectual stimulation. The Japanese also have a strong sense of purpose and meaning in life, which is often developed through their involvement in their communities. For example, many Japanese elders find purpose in their roles as grandparents, caregivers, or simply by being active members of their local community. For example, my mother-in-law is 73 years old and still working as a part-time cashier at a drug store near our house. Another factor contributing to the physical strength of Japanese elders is the traditional emphasis on respect for the elderly. In Japan, younger family members are expected to help their older relatives, which means that they are less likely to develop physical limitations due to lack of exercise. First, I am not saying that all Japanese elders don't use walkers. Of course, there are some who do. And likewise, I am not saying that all elderly people in other countries use walkers because they need one. Sometimes they may use them simply because their family members have bought it for them. Or they may use it because their country provides financial support or insurance coverage for such medical equipment. So what I'm about to share is just an observation I've made over the years. However, when we compare this to other countries, including my home country of the United States, we can see a stark difference. So why is it that Japanese elders rarely need walkers? Is it genetics? Well, not necessarily. There's something else at play here. So what is it? Keep watching to find out. I'm a doctor who's spent most of his career in Japan. The first thing to note is that Japanese elders are generally stronger physically than our American elders. This is due to a number of factors. Another reason why Japanese elders are generally stronger than their counterparts in other countries is because they eat healthier diets. Now, while these factors certainly play a role in the physical strength of Japanese elders, there's another crucial element at play here, and that's the importance placed on mental health. You might be wondering, how does one keep their mind sharp as they age? Another key aspect of Japanese culture is the value placed on social connections and community involvement. The concept of lifelong learning is also deeply ingrained in Japanese culture. Now let me share with you a personal anecdote that illustrates the importance of mental stimulation in maintaining cognitive function. As I mentioned earlier, the benefits of mental stimulation are numerous. If you're already a grandparent, you can incorporate mental stimulation into your grandchildren's lives by playing brain games with them, reading to them, or simply engaging in intellectually stimulating conversation. Now I want to share with you some concrete examples of how to incorporate mental stimulation into your daily life. In addition to these tips, it's also important to lead a healthy lifestyle. So there you have it, the real reason why Japanese elders rarely need walkers. It's not just their genes, it's their mindset.